Hello again, everyone. So I'm here to share the theme for the May exploration. So during May, we invite you to be journeying with the idea of circles of belonging. So in the 64 cultural elements that John Young and the Eight Shields Institute developed, this is referred to as moieties of relational belonging. Moieties of relational belonging. And the word moieties was a new one to me. Never come across a word with quite so many vowels in it. Basically, it's about small groups. How do we create small groups in our lives that we can then work in a more intimate, connected way, and that supports us and the wider community. So in the Art of Mentoring camps and the Connection camp, the moieties are designed in there as the clans. So you're both in a society where you're exploring a particular direction, and you're also in some kind of a guild or a clan or a pod where you're journeying through the whole week again and again with these same people, and you connect in with them, share stories, go on adventures, give an errands, all kinds of stuff. And basically human beings work well in small groups rather than large groups. And that's what this cultural element is all about, building small groups in our lives. So for example, in the online courses that we run in Bringing It Home, there's pods. And all through the year, you're in the same pod with the same people, and you get to share stories, check in, reflect on your experiences as part of that pod all through the year. And we do the same in Ecological Homecoming, and we're going to be doing that in Heartbeat as well, because it works. So there's something about humans that need that smaller group to feel safer, feel more belonging, I guess kind of trust each other enough, get to know each other enough to feel safe to share things that are important, and that then supercharges a connection and the sense of belonging in those circles. And I'm not saying all small groups in society are great and are important for our development, but definitely when they're done well, small groups bring a whole new level of connection, belonging, and effectiveness in getting things done as well. In my life, I'm in a few different circles of belonging, as we're calling them. Probably the strongest one is my men's group. I'm part of the Mankind Project, and there's a local group here in Totnes, and we get to meet under a parachute in the woods down near Dartington around a fire. And we meet every 2 weeks on Thursday evenings all through the year. And the Mankind Project has particular modes to create trust and safety and connection within those circles. And I've got to journey really deeply with those men for like the last 6 years, I think. And I know them really intimately and well and deeply, and I can reach out to them and ask for support. And in the circles, in the meetings, we work on different things for different people each week. And yeah, last week in our circle, I shared the story of me skinning a badger and how that had been a really important initiation for me into being with bodies and more in my power in a different way. And it was great to have that circle to share deeply with someone, to share my story from that, having spent the day cutting up or skinning the badger. So that is one group I'm in. Also the rewilding project I'm involved in, Moorbarton Wilding, up on Dartmoor. There's a group of 10 of us that are part of the steering group, and we meet up 3 or 4 times a year, and we also show up for the gatherings to help run them. So that's another one of the circles I'm in. I'm also noticing that when we run Eight Shields events, the Acorn is itself a small group. The Acorn of people that are helping to run the event, they meet up beforehand, they have particular roles, they support each other, and they debrief and prepare things together. So there's a whole important circle of belonging there as well. So our invitation for you is to think about these circles of belonging in your life. What are the things you do again and again with the same people? And this could be, going to a sports club. It could be doing bingo. It could be for a school group of parents meeting up together, or even parents meeting at the school gates again and again. Who are the small groups of people that you meet up with and feel belonging in that circle? And they can be relatively informal, or they could be more formal and more held in a conscious way. And when you've tracked which ones there are, if you feel like you want more connection and belonging in your life, maybe you could think about how could you create more circles of belonging. For example, someone here started a table tennis club in the village hall a few weeks ago, and I went there and met with some folks I met before. But going to that circle, to that club, most of it is spent sitting around talking to each other while someone plays table tennis. So there's a huge amount of connection and belonging coming from that. So what are the ways you can set up circles of belonging, whether that's online or in person, in your local community? And if you already have some circles of belonging, maybe you've got enough in your life already, what are the ways you could use the 8 Shields model, techniques, tools and practices to increase the sense of belonging, connection, trust, safety at those circles? So, for example, in my men's group, when I run the circles, which we alternate who runs the circles each time, when I run them, I usually finish off with a song to kind of give that oxytocin connective feel at the end of the evening. That doesn't always happen because other people lead it and they bring in different things, but that's one of the ways that I bring in a bit more connection. I also encourage folks to talk about, guess what, gratitude at the start of their check-in when I'm leading the men's group. So what are the ways you could bring in these 8 Shields techniques, these regenerative community tools to increase connection at your circles of belonging? Those are our invitations. I look forward to gathering with you end of May to hear how you've journeyed with that and your reflections on the circles of belonging in your life. Oh, and I chose to do this video here because this little circle here is where we used to run the men's group back before we had this opportunity to meet in Dartington. We met a couple of times here by the Holy Brook here on Dartmoor, and I remember hearing the owlets, the baby owls, calling from the trees above us during the men's circle. It was very beautiful, doing their very cute little baby owl calls. Wishing you well, and may you have many circles of belonging in your life, and may it bring you what you need.